Hiya, I'm Carly from Kip McGrath Carlisle, and today we are looking at volume. So you can see I've got a lot of very roughly drawn pictures on here, okay? So we're going to start with our cube. Same as when we were talking about our squares, we've got to remind the children that if they've been given one measurement, then they've also got the others, because it's all the same length, because it's a cube. So this one's also 4, and this one's 4, and so on, okay? So our formula for area of a cube, volume, is length times width times height. So basically times all of the 3 measurements by each other. So this one, and this one. So 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. We're going to stick with our centimetres, okay? That's your formula, nice and easy, for volume of a cube. Then if we were doing volume of a cuboid, again, we're still just doing the 3 measurements. So we're still doing length times width times height. But obviously, they're going to be different numbers this time. So 6, 4, 5, and we would just times them by each other. So 6 is the length, width is going backwards, that's your 4, height is going upwards, that's your 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Always look out for the easier way to do something. So with our multiplications, we can do them in any order. 4 times 5 is 20, 20 times 6 is 120. If we'd done it the other way, we'd have got 24 times 5 gives us 120, but look for the easier maths where you can. Now, I made a rookie error up there and put a squared. It's cubed because we're talking this time about how many tiny little cubes fit into there, and that's what I often say to children. Imagine that I'm filling that up with tiny little cubes. How many cubes would there be? Well, we'd have quite a few across this front if we had 6, so we'd chop it up, okay, and then we'd have, that would go 5 high, so I've drawn them a little bit too big, but that would give them an idea. So on that front layer, we've got 6 times 5, we've got 30, haven't we? And then we're going backwards, we've got 4. So I would talk to them and say, well, the front layer is 30, and then we've got 4 of those, so that's 120. So that's just illustrating what we're actually talking about here. When we were on this one here, sometimes people just put width cubed or length cubed or whatever, because it is literally just the 3 things times by each other. But if we say length times width times height, it makes it much easier for them to remember it with cuboids because it's always the same formula. All right, when we've got shapes like this, these are what we call prisms. Obviously this one's got its own special name, it's a cylinder, but essentially it is a prism, which just means it's got one shape at the end and it's the same shape all the way along. So we can have hexagonal ones of those, we can have pentagonal, we can have any shape at the end and it would be the same all the way along. I always talk about this one, triangular prism, because it's got a triangle and it's the same all the way along. And I remind kids, it's a Toblerone, okay? With any of these, all we ever need to do is find the area of this flat bit facing us. So the area this time, and then times that, so area times by length, okay? Area is going to be different formula for different shapes. Sometimes you'll be given the area and just asked to work out the volume. But for this one, because it's a triangle, we know how to find the area of a triangle. It's base times height divided by 2. So as long as we've got those measurements, so say this base was 3, height is 2, 3 times 2 is 6, half of that is 3. So the area of our triangle is 3. If the length's 6, we're going to do 3 times 6, which is 18. Cylinder, again, we're finding the area of this flat bit. Now we've already covered this in our videos. Area for a circle is pi r squared. So if we get that, then we just times it by the length, and that's our answer. So say we'd already been told that the area of the circle was 16, and the length is 5, we're just going to do 16 times 5. So 10 fives are 50, 6 fives are 30, add them together, 80 is the area for that one. Now, sorry, not the area, the volume, keep saying that, sorry about that, that's the volume of that one. So it's in cubic centimetres for these. Same there. Now, these guys over here are your more complicated volumes. Now, you will be given these formulas if you have them in your exams, and so the aim with these ones is just to practice using them. So it's not so much about memorising the formula, it's just, can I use it? So for a sphere, we're doing 4/3 of pi times r cubed, r being the radius. Sorry, this is quite small, but that is the key bit you need, 4/3 pi r cubed. Square-based pyramid. So we've got our bottom of our pyramid there. So that is length times width to find the area of the bottom. And then you times that by 1/3 and times by the height. Okay? So your height will go straight up and down from the middle there. Okay? And it's 1/3 because essentially it's getting smaller as it goes up. So we can't just times it by the height because that would give us a cuboid or a cube depending on the shape. So we need to do 1/3 of it. That links us to our triangular pyramid, which is very similar again. We're still doing the third, but this time we can't do length times width to find the base because that bottom bit there is a triangle. So you've got to do the area of the bottom bit, which is base times height divided by 2, times by 1/3 times by height. So those bits remain constant. This bit is how to find the area. Okay, so you're doing 1/3 of the area of the base times height. So that's those two. And a cone, another complicated formula, but again, they just need to learn how to use it, is 1/3 of pi times the radius squared times the height. Okay, and that's how you're going to find your area and your volume of your cone. So these are all our different volume formulas that we need to learn over here. So these are the learny ones, and these ones will be given to you, and they're just the practice ones. Okay, if you've got any questions or if anything's not clear or if you can't read anything, just give us a shout. Thanks.